Okay, so let's talk about footwork on what would be trap right and also sweep right, and also boot left. Okay, so we have our front five here, and the defense that they have to play in the league is a 4-3, and normally on a 4-3 defense, you can set the line or the technique. If you put a tight end here, that actually puts an extra gap here. So most of the time, and against real football teams or real programs, that puts the defensive tackle out here on the outside of the guard, which is known as a 3 tech. And then that puts this D tackle on the inside of the guard, which makes them a 2-eye. And so that's pretty typical. They have to kind of line up that way, because if they bump them down, if these two switch this way, that creates an extra gap over here for this outside linebacker, which actually causes a problem in real football. Now in youth league, most of the time you just see these guys line up, head up, and they just come flying in here like that. Pretty typical, but that's what's going on here. And then we will put the backers here and the defense men there. So the quarterback, there is what we call the midline, which is right here. And we're going to put the fullback directly behind the quarterback. And we have a dive back, and then we will put a wing back here. That's kind of what you see in the YouTube video. So the quarterback is reversing out, which means if these are his feet are here, when he's going to spin around and he's going to end up here and here. That's the quarterback, right? So it's a reversed, he reverses out and he ends up here and here with his feet. So that means the quarterback is giving up the midline. Fullback, Gabe, potentially standing on the midline. So his first step should be with his right foot. His right foot should come right here. And then his left foot should come right here. And that puts Gabe on this side of the midline, which means smooth sailing now, because the quarterback is going to run straight backwards. Fullback's going to come straight forward. This part here is important. When we step with our right foot across the midline, that's our first step. His right rib cage has to open up, which means his right arm goes up and his left arm goes down. 9 times out of 10, when we fumble the football, it's because our arm. So it's a muscle memory. If the fullback goes this direction and he's getting the ball from that side, his right arm's got to go up and his left arm's got to go down, and vice versa. If we go the other way, we flip it. So that's a muscle memory. If I go this way, which I do, then my right arm's got to come up. Okay, backfield action. This kid comes here and he is selling a sweep play. On sweep, we give the ball and fullback still runs his path. On trap, we give the ball here. So what we've replaced, the quarterback is now standing here and the fullback is now standing here with the ball. Action up here, because we set the front for trap right, this should be an easy block because we can reach him. It helps if he's closer to us. And then everyone else is going to wall down. So you're going to see this guy pull, and he's going to run flat, and he's going to end up kicking this guy that runs upfield. And right there is that little mouse hole that we have to get into on trap. Okay, since we're standing right here, when we come downfield, we're coming tight to this block here. We can win this block pretty easily. So we want to stay tight to that. And then out of our peripheral vision, we are looking for this action here. There's a block. Coming down, there's a block. Coming down, there's a block. Coming real late, there's a block. And so what it is we say we ride the wave. So at this point, we've taken the football and we come straight, and then we right there looking to catch this wave that's coming up down the field. And this guy and this guy are essentially untouched, and it creates a nice gap right up the middle of the play. And we're trying to trap this D tackle that's here. Now, A good D tackle will recognize that his man went downfield and he'll bend. We talk about these guys bending, and that creates a wall here, and that makes the fullback bounce it into where we're not accounted for. And so that's what we're trying to accomplish on trap. We'll do the same thing the other direction for what would be trap left. So typically we will put the tight end here in a perfect world, because that creates the 3 tech to the play side, and then that creates the 2-eye away from there, the backers, quarterback, fullback, dive back, wing back. Okay, so same thing, quarterback's going to reverse out and give up the midline. He's running sweep action. Left foot is going to step hard. When we go this direction with our left foot, our second foot is to squares up and come straight downhill. Our left arm goes up. We got to open up our left side of our rib cage, and we're going to block back. This guard is pulling and trying to kick here. There's that mouse hole wall, and everyone else is coming down, walling, and we're gonna hit it. We're gonna come tight to this block and then find that wave coming back, and that's the trap left scheme. If it was a sweep play, the linemen do something slightly different. But as far as the fullback's path, they just run the same. They run the same process and run in here and try to pick that guy up on a block if we're running sweep. So that is trap left. And most of the time, this kid will run upfield, which makes it a really easy hole. If we'll stay tight to this hole, that makes it pretty easy. Teams that do things well will. This kid gets blown up. We have a good football player that blocks this kid that never sees this coming. So if you ever notice us calling timeout, so we're on defense, that means we have some poor kid in here that's getting blown up, and we're just trying to let him know that they didn't forget about you. They're blindsiding you with the block. So you'll see us do that quite a bit. You'll see us do that to kids, but also you'll see us correct kids so they don't keep getting annihilated inside and that. So that's what's going on. Happy to help and teach as much as you want to know or hear, but those are your steps. And on sweep, you get the ball, or excuse me, on trap, you get the ball, and on sweep, you don't get the ball. The last one then is the boot action, and we'll draw that up going to the right because it's a little bit easier on the quarterback who is right-handed. So we set the same setup, and we can do whatever we want from here. So we'll put a receiver out here and a tight end over here. Dive back and wing back. Okay, so we're gonna reverse out and get here. Run this sweep action. Okay, our first steps then is, if we know the quarterback's going this way, we're gonna step this way, become flat, and then we release into the flats at about 3 yards. And then here, it's somewhere around 10 yards, and we have choices on what we want to do. It's pretty typical. It's run 10 yards and turn around and look, but there's some choices there. But we would want good separation. And honestly, there's a corner there, and there's a backer, and there's a safety. So once we clear the mix, if he drops, then we should be open to look for the football, because we've got them on our inside. And if he jumps the route, we should be looking to throw behind the route. Now, one of the things though is the quarterback is going to reverse out, and we do tell the quarterback, don't ever throw the ball to somebody you can run it to. So sometimes when the fullback's open, the quarterback is taught, If you can run it to him, you just keep it and just run, and the fullback becomes a blocker. No reason for the extra throw exchange, but that's what's going on the boot pass concept. Okay, that's it.